the sleepy storyteller. Here you can learn English without even looking at the screen. Just close your eyes, listen, and let the words paint pictures in your mind. Relax, and let's begin today's story. A trip to the airport. You will hear a short story about a trip to the airport. Listen carefully and answer the questions. For each question, choose the correct answer. 1. Taxi to the airport. It's early in the morning. I take a taxi. The driver is friendly and asks me, "Where are you flying today?" I say, "To London." The taxi passes a park, a school, and a small cafe. Where am I flying? To London. What 3 places do we pass? A park, a school, and a small cafe. 2. Arrival at the airport. At the airport, I check in my suitcase. It's blue and heavy. The woman at the counter asks for my passport. I give it to her and get my boarding pass. What color is my suitcase? Blue. What do I get after showing my passport? Boarding pass. 3. Security check. I go through security. I put my bag on the belt. I take off my shoes. The security officer smiles and says, "Have a nice flight." What do I put on the belt? My bag. What does the officer say? Have a nice flight. After I had finally passed through security, which took me quite a while because there were many people in the line, and some of them were traveling with children who needed extra time to put their things on the conveyor belt, I slowly walked through the busy airport hall until I reached Gate 5, where I decided to sit down and wait for my flight. On my left side, there was a middle-aged woman with glasses who seemed completely absorbed in a thick novel that had a dark blue cover. And on my right side, there was a tall man in a business suit who was speaking very loudly on his mobile phone in Spanish, probably talking to his colleagues about some kind of work matter. And while I was observing all this and trying to relax, I suddenly heard a clear announcement through the loudspeakers that the flight to London was ready for boarding, which meant that it was finally almost time for me to get on the plane. What language was the man speaking on the phone? A. English. B. Spanish. C. French. D. German. The correct answer is B. 5. Boarding the plane. Finally, when it was time to board, I stood up, followed the line of passengers through the gate, and walked along the jet bridge until I entered the plane, where a smiling flight attendant greeted me and checked my boarding pass. I then made my way down the narrow aisle, looking carefully at the seat numbers until I found my place, seat 12A, which was right next to the window, exactly the type of seat I prefer because I enjoy watching everything outside. After putting my bag into the overhead compartment, I sat down and looked out of the window where I could clearly see the long runway stretching far into the distance, the busy airport buildings filled with activity, and, behind them, the beautiful outline of the mountains standing against the horizon. Just then, The flight attendant's voice came through the loudspeaker, reminding all passengers to please fasten your seatbelts, which I immediately did, ready for takeoff. What was my seat number? A, 10B, B, 12A, C, 14C, D, 22,